What is up, everybody? It is Derek coming back to you live with the Varsity Sports Network, as I call it now. Yes, I have rebranded a little bit. Don't worry, we're still going to be doing similar content, doing podcasts when I can. Obviously, you can see it has been a while. Trust me, I know, I apologize. Been real busy with life, but I have not forgot about you guys. Definitely have not. Also, if you go look at the TikTok, I'll have the link down below in case you're watching or listening to this, wherever you decide to listen to my podcast and listen to me talk about sports. I appreciate all the support. I'll have the TikTok link down below. I'm a little more active on there because I can quickly post things and I don't have to do like a whole episode. But I have started a new series that has gotten pretty popular on TikTok. It gets a lot of views, and I've been posting them on the YouTube channel as well, where you could be watching this or listening, called Hooked on Walleye. Now, what that is I am a Toledo Walleye fan. I go to all their games. I'm a season ticket holder, so I go to all the hockey games, and I like to recap the games. I like to film little like vlogs and highlights. I post them on YouTube, so on and so forth. Get into talking about the walleye. But what this is going to be another version of it called what I'm going to probably be calling Hooked on Walleye Game Recap, where I take notes during the game, kind of like a reporter. I like to think that I'm good at doing this. What I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing is pretty much just going like period by period, stat by stat, kind of just recapping the game. I'm gonna be putting like some photos and stuff up here from the game, so on and so forth. We're gonna have fun with this. I like talking about the game. You can comment down below whatever you guys want to. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna try to get more content out for you guys where I'm back to doing podcasts or stuff like this. It's just been hard because I haven't as much time to film like a whole episode or get like a whole script for something. Life happens, and I also have a new job. I work third shift. Genuinely, I work all night and then I sleep like half the day or a quarter of the day, where it's like I do that. I try to be productive with other stuff in my life. But we're going to get into this episode and I'm going to stop yapping. So, last night, Toledo was playing their rivalry game, whatever you want to call it. The Fort Wayne Comets against Toledo Walleye. Big rivalry that's been a rivalry for a pretty long time in the ECHL. I've only been going to Toledo games for about 2, 3 years now. So still new-ish to the team, but from what I've gathered from older fans and just history in general, that these two teams do not like each other. And from what I've watched in the games, it is bad blood. Always some extra chirping, some extra hits, a little bit of extra everything. They're really trying to get an edge to get the win no matter what. Almost for the past 5 years, Toledo has been a really good team. Fort Wayne, not as much. They did win a cup back in 2020 during the COVID year. Sorry if that makes you uncomfortable. I know some people don't like talking about that, but they did win a cup back in 2020 during a shortened season, if you want to call it. Good for them. So, and this year, Toledo is number one in the division again, and Fort Wayne is actually right behind them. So, very good matchup. So let's get into this first period. I'm going to use my phone. I got some stats here. It's kind of where I take my notes and take everything. So if I'm looking down and not at the camera, I apologize, but I have a lot here that I cannot remember. So first period, total shots on goal, Toledo 15, Fort Wayne 8. Clearly could see Toledo was coming out aggressive, shooting the puck, trying to get as many chances as they could. Clearly outshot Fort Wayne in the first period. For power plays, both teams went 0 for 1. That's going to be one of my key points. And then score at the end of the period was 1-0. So right in the beginning, I took note. It was pretty chippy in the first half. Finishing checks, and like I said, even some shoving after checks. After someone would hit a check, they would put a little extra like into it and like cross check almost. Just they would hit someone, do a little extra, maybe after goalie made a save, and how if you watch hockey, a lot of players just stand kind of right there by the goalie. A little bit of extra chirping. The boys were definitely talking, trying to get in their opponent's head to get some kind of edge, some way, whether it wasn't scoring or whatever. So, right off the bat, you could feel the energy. You were like, this is going to be a very rough and tough game, and either team is going to do whatever they can do to get in the opponent's head and try to get an advantage, psychologically at least, and maybe a little physically. And then I was going to get into this, especially on Toledo's first power play. They were not able to get much going. Excuse me. They were not able to get much going. Toledo had like 2 shots maybe on a 2-minute power play, which it might not be whatever, but just watching it, I was like, bro, can we even get the puck into the offensive zone? Because I swear we couldn't even get across the blue line and get it into Fort Wayne's area. Like, I'll give Fort Wayne that credit. They did play a very tight defense, man to man. They were not letting Toledo even get into the zone or get a good pass off. Where Toledo likes to set up like 2 defenders at the top of the blue line, and the other 3 forwards are kind of moving around within the zone, and they pass it around until someone kind of gets an open shot and tries to take a shot. Fort Wayne was like, no, we ain't allowing none of that. That's not going to happen. So that first power play, Toledo was not able to get much going. They got like, I think, maybe 2 shots at most. Fort Wayne shut that down. And then similar on Fort Wayne side, when they got the power play, Toledo shut it down, didn't allow much. So yeah, so clearly then I was like, all right, goals are not going to be coming easy tonight because both teams are playing a very tight defense, not allowing much to happen. So that happens. Then I think it was like near the middle to end, maybe the last 7 minutes, I think. Near the last 7 minutes, Brandon Cruz for the Toledo Walleye scores. It was on like a rebound goal. So I forget who, but one of the Toledo players shot it. It was on the left side of the goalie. Then it bounces to the right, and Brandon Cruz is right there to tuck it in for a backhand goal. Brandon Cruz takes the Toledo Walleye up 1-0. Good goal by him. And then to kind of wrap up the first period, Toledo kind of took the lead. You could tell they were playing with the lead, just kind of were playing it safe. Last 7 minutes, I would say honestly, I took note of it. Last 7 minutes, not much action going on. Just a lot of, now this is when Fort Wayne definitely started to try to get a bit more physical and just out physical Toledo and everything. Just playing a lot more physical near the end of the period. You know, extra shoving, extra chirping. Last 7 minutes of the period just kind of go by. Nothing crazy happens. End of the first. Like I said, final shots on goal for the first. Toledo 15, Fort Wayne 8. Power plays both 0 for 1. Score 1-0. Toledo goes into the first period, goes into the end of the first period. 1-0. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. But yeah, end of the first, Toledo's up 1-0. Fort Wayne kind of getting a little edgy there near the end. They're like, all right, boys, we're down. Gotta get something going. We're clearly not getting many shots on goal, and Toledo's making it tough for us. So, look, we got to win in something. And they were definitely trying to win in the physicality battle there. So, going to end that. Going into the second period. All right, Toledo coming out 1-0, kind of flying high. We're like, all right, we got the momentum. We're looking good, boys. Let's get, go out and get another goal, kind of shut it down, maybe get it going. So here we go. So right off the bat, this was nuts. But I think it was number 8 for Fort Wayne. I don't remember for sure because this kind of happened real quick, and I didn't catch it. And I'm gonna say I was just hoping that the guy was all right. No penalty came from this because it was nothing wrong. You ever seen it like when players they go to crash the board or like go to the board to get the puck and just pass it out? Well, Fort Wayne's I think it's number 8 if it wasn't, he did come out later the night. So again, just going to roll with it. That was number 8. Fort Wayne's number 8 comes out. He going to crash the board, get the puck and pass it, and right as he's at the board, number 7 Sam Craigs on Toledo comes in and checks him, and the first thing that hit the board was this guy's face. Like I kid you not, like here's the board. It was like boom, full face into the boards, and this dude falls as the puck goes back down towards the other end because he passed it and the other players play it. No penalty called. It was it was just a normal hit. I don't think he braced for it or he wasn't expecting it. Face went into the boards and he went down, and then I literally watched him try to get up, and he was like getting up and stumbling and falling back down, and he did make it back to the bench on his own power. But in that moment, I was like, whoa, big hit, crowd going crazy. But then I was like, also, hope he's okay because that I don't know if he was stumbling because he was like dazed or like something was up with his head or someone was like maybe it was a skate issue or what. But he took a shot, and it was completely legal, like nothing wrong with it. I just think he wasn't ready for it and he didn't brace, but definitely took a shot and went back to the bench. But again, just to say, I did see him come out later in the game and he seemed fine. So again, even if it wasn't number 8, whoever it was, if he did not come back out, because again, it was just so fast I didn't catch it. Hope he's all right, because even a rivalry game, you don't want somebody getting a hit or a concussion like that, because that was brutal. But gonna get moving on from that. So again, another very physical period. Toledo was definitely putting on the defense against Fort Wayne this whole period, making it tough for Fort Wayne to do anything, like even get a pass, pick up the puck, fighting for pucks in the corner, making it very physical and very tough. They were completely shutting Fort Wayne down, not allowing them to get much going. Again, I was like, damn, they're not able to get anything going. And we were in their zone for long periods of time. And they would get down to our zone, block a shot, we take the puck, and we're gone. Fort Wayne was not able to get much going this period. And surprising enough, there was a 4-on-4 penalty, or 4-on-4 penalty, God, a 4v4, because there was 2 penalties. I didn't catch numbers or what it was on this one. My apologies, but it was a 4-on-4. There was a penalty on a Toledo player and a Fort Wayne player. Ended up being 4v4, short-handed on both teams, and this is actually when number 16, Brandon Hawkins for Toledo, ended up scoring a goal to make it 2-0. He just sniped it from a distance, and doing so, congrats to him. This was also Brandon Hawkins' 350th ECHL point. I believe he has been in the ECHL since 2018, I believe. He's been on a few teams, but he's been with Toledo the past 2 seasons, and he is the reigning ECHL MVP. Very good player. I love having him in Toledo, but he snipes it to go up 2-0 on a short, I guess if you want to call it shorthanded, because it was 4-on-4. So he does that. And then shortly after that, you could almost tell Fort Wayne was starting to get desperate, because they were really, really piling it on. I mean, dude, you could tell their players were getting frustrated. They were getting desperate. Like, again, extra checks, chirping, like where the refs would have to break stuff up. You could just tell these guys were getting desperate and they wanted to get some kind of momentum going somehow, and they were definitely just getting flustered and frustrated that they were down 2-0. And I'll give it to them. Their goalie was not bad. He's pretty good goalie from what I watched. And like I said, they're second in the division, so they're definitely not a bad team. So they were already probably upset. They're down 2-0. They're at Toledo. Very rough environment to play on, because our fans get very loud. We have multiple chants we do throughout the game. Overall, again, true home ice advantage. It gets rough. So again, after that, the intensity started going up, more hits, more chirping, more physical stuff, maybe a little bit of cheap stuff in between. But again, Fort Wayne was getting very flustered. You could tell they were down 2-0 and they knew it, and they were trying their damnedest to get something going for them. And then again, I surprised shortly after that, another 4-on-4. This one I did catch numbers. Fort Wayne's number 34, and then Toledo's number 24. I believe 24 for us is Sawyer. After like the goalie stopped a puck, you know how guys kind of gather around. I think they were chirping back and forth, and Fort Wayne's number 34 literally took his whole palm and just shoved Sawyer in the face, and Sawyer kind of retaliated. I didn't see how it was mostly on Sawyer, because he really didn't do much even after he got shoved in the face. But the refs assessed both of them a 2-minute penalty, and 4-on-4 again. And then nothing happened after that, but again, during that 4-on-4 and through the middle to the rest of the end of the period, Toledo really tightened up on defense, barely allowing Fort Wayne to get in the zone, barely allowing anything. Tightened up really good, looked good on defense. And then, like I said, near the end of the period, going into it, you could definitely tell near the end, Fort Wayne was getting very flustered that they weren't able to get much offense generated or even stay in the offensive zone for long, and they were playing defense most of the game, or just quickly turning over the puck because they could not get a pass. So, to wrap up that second period, stats for it: total shots on goal, Toledo 28 and Fort Wayne 16. That is a big jump. Toledo went from 15 to 28. Fort Wayne went from 8 to 16. Big jump. Power play, Toledo is 0 for 2. Fort Wayne 0 for 1. and score to end the second 2-0. Again, you could tell Fort Wayne was kind of getting desperate there, that they were not getting the puck, not getting much going, and being down 2-0 when clearly. Also, to add on, the night before, this was Saturday night. I'm recording this on Sunday night. Friday night, they were in Fort Wayne and ended up, I believe Toledo. Got to double check real quick. I apologize because I want to get the score correctly. I know they were in Fort Wayne and it was a close game. Toledo ended up winning 4-3 near the end of the game. I believe Fort Wayne in that game quickly went up 2-0, and then it was just kind of back and forth after that, and Toledo ended up winning. So again, they were already coming off of a loss to Toledo where Fort Wayne quickly went up 2-0. So they're like, all right, we're good. Toledo ends up winning, and then again, Toledo ended up winning again last night. So again, they were like, yo, what are we doing, bro? We got to get this win. Big thing, because especially we are now like 10 points ahead of them in the division. So again, these are crucial games for them to win if they want to win the division. But let's get back to this one. Going into the third period, really, this was kind of like a boring period almost. Not a lot going on. Like it almost felt like Fort Wayne was just like, you know what? Let's just wrap it up. Let's get out of here. We're like they just rolled over and gave up. Like I said this, the first 10 minutes of the period, nothing really going on. I mean, guys might chirp a little, maybe do a little check, but nothing like the first two periods. Like it was mostly just, when games are going without a lot of stoppage, it's literally just back and forth down the ice, maybe a shot here and there. But again, was wild to me was I was like, you guys are down 2-0, and you almost couldn't tell. It's like you guys gave up. Like, I mean, it just not much going on. They're trying to get something going, but not much. It was a pretty boring first 10 minutes. Then, and the ECHL posted this, Carter Gylander makes the craziest save with 2:36 left in the third period. I'm talking, dude, post it if I can find the clip or if I can do it, but I'll just describe it too real quick if I can't post this. He pretty much, he's looking back at the net after he already made a sliding save to his left, and then he slides to his right, but the puck was going left, and he dives back towards his net as someone shoots it, and it slides across right before the red line, and he stops it with his stick and then covers it with his glove. ECHL posted it as like a highlight last night, and I'll post it in here if I can, but crazy save to keep it 2-0, and everybody, like the whole building was going crazy. We were like, oh my God, like the whole building was going nuts, and I think that just deflated Fort Wayne because it was like a pretty open net, and I thought that they thought they were going to get that goal, and they kind of seen it, and they just put their head up, and they were like, my God, like they're like, what can we do? Like they could not get anything going, and then they go empty net, and literally the goalie didn't even get to the bench as they're trying to take it out of their zone. Bad turnover, and number 7 Sam Craigs shoots it for an empty net goal to make it 3-0. And then that's pretty much going to wrap up the night. Toledo wins it 3-0 with Carter Gylander getting his second, I believe they call it his second pro shutout, but pretty much his second shutout of the season with a 3-0 win. He looked very good, and he definitely kept it a shutout with that save. But again, like I said, near the end, you could just kind of tell Fort Wayne was getting deflated and almost just seemed like, they were ready to wrap it up and get out of here because they were not able to get much going. So I'm going to hit on the 3 stars of the game. So the third star was Brandon Hawkins getting a goal and his 350th ECHL point. Second star, Brandon Cruz got the first goal of the night to open it up. And then, not much of a surprise, the 1 star, Carter Gylander with a 26 save shutout win, second shutout. And final stats, shots on goal, Toledo 36, Fort Wayne 26, power play, Toledo 0 for 2, Fort Wayne 0 for 1. And the final score, 3-0. And this is a big win for Toledo to beat Fort Wayne, who is in second place in the division, not once, but twice, Friday and Saturday. This is Sunday night. Toledo is going to be playing Kalamazoo tonight. I unfortunately will not be at that game. I have work tonight. Wish I could, but my family's up there. So hopefully Toledo gets another win tonight to make it a 3-win weekend. That will be huge. Get those points and keep us in first place and stay hot. I hope you guys like this video. I'm calling these Hooked on Walleye game recaps. I'm just going to kind of do what I do where I go through my notes throughout the game. Hopefully, if you guys like this stuff, I like looking at these kind of things. And I also post Hooked on Walleye little highlights and vlogs. I have like 11 episodes up on the channel right now. If you guys do want to see them as well in the kind of format they're in, I post them on TikTok, then I take them and post them on YouTube. The official TikTok page will be linked down in the description. I will also have the official Varsity Sports Network merchandise link down below as well if it will let me do that. But yes, if you guys have watched my stuff before, I don't call myself the Varsity Podcast anymore. I call it the Varsity Sports Network. Will I still do podcast stuff? Yes, I will. I just had to have the time to do it. I'm kind of getting used to my new job, new schedule, stuff like that. Very busy guy. But like I said, follow me on TikTok. I do post on there at least once or twice a day, if not every other day. It's a little easier for me to do that than sit down and record a whole video and then edit, so on and so forth. But if you guys do like it, please like and share. And don't forget to subscribe. Become a varsity athlete. That is what we call you guys, our fans. That's what I call my fans, official varsity athletes. But like I said, like, follow, and share. Share with your mama, your dad, your brother, grandma, sister, whoever. I appreciate all the support. Trust me, I read all of your guys' comments on TikTok and YouTube. I like your guys' stuff. Again, I appreciate all the support. I never thought I would get as far as I have now, where people actually go out in public around my area, and some people actually know me as the varsity sports guy. I freaking love that. It warms my heart. I love all the support. And I'm really glad to grow the community that I do have, but I'm going to stop yapping and wrap it up. This is Hooked on Walleye Game Recap, Episode 1 versus Fort Wayne. I hope you guys have a good one, and as always, go fish and have a good one.